Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Tonight's another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards, where Master DeSalle and Arthur Wainwright are going to meet up with the Mandarin of the Hessian, uh, Dr. Wu Zumao. Arthur will take him to the office, sending a text ahead of time. Fortunately, he can communicate in English on text message, informing Dr. Wu Zumao that he is bringing the new Speaker of the House of Pentacles to meet him and to discuss a matter that's come up. So he and DeSalle will head into the office and knock on the door to be let in.
Okay. The receptionist tell you obviously go through the back door. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, back door.
Back door. So you are obviously greeted by, when you enter through the back door, you are greeted by the good Dr. Wu Zumao, Mandarin of the Hessian.
Both
Hello.
Arthur and DeSalle will bow. DeSalle's wearing a pair of slacks, a button-down white dress shirt, and a black dress jacket. Is carrying nothing on him at all. Arthur is, of course, dressed like normal. He would notice that Arthur's skin color has changed again to almost opalescent, and that his eyes are now almost white. Arthur will walk in and will promptly begin trilling in a language that sounds both beautiful and exotic at the same time, at which point DeSalle will give a sigh and say, I am Atrian DeSalle, Master of the Order of Hermes, House Flambeau. I apologize, but Arthur can no longer speak as a human.
Please take a seat. You need any candy or water, tea?
Atrian will say, tea, please, and if you have any of that rice candy, Arthur would like some. Arthur will nod his head, trilling lightly.
Yeah, he gives Arthur the candy and starts making the tea.
Arthur will pull out some pieces of rice candy and then put the bowl down. I apologize for not coming sooner. I've been familiar with your work for some time. However, seeing as I run a weapons shop and you run a clinic, I didn't think I would be particularly welcome.
We welcome all those from all walks of life, be they poor, be they rich, be they dirty, be they clean. Our duty is towards the people of Hong Kong, and we protect all those who seek our shelter, who seek our succor. We heal all those that need healing, whether it be in mind, body, and spirit. That is our function.
Atrian will nod his head, and Arthur will pop one of the pieces of rice candy into his mouth and give a light trilling sound. And DeSalle will say, Arthur thanks you for your hospitality and for your friendship over the past year.
And I thank Arthur for his service towards the people under my employ, and a personal thanks for the many favors he has done to me over this past year.
Arthur will make a motion and a trilling sound that seems to suggest it's nothing.
He shakes his head and pours a cup towards Adrian.
Atrian will take the cup and take a sip of it. Quite well done. I enjoyed this quite a lot. The reason why I've come here is not merely to make mention of the fact that I am now Speaker of the House of Pentacles. I do have a matter of business to discuss. Arthur will lightly trill, placing a hand on DeSalle's shoulder, and DeSalle will say, "No, Arthur, we need to discuss this." At which point Arthur will like kind of give a look, and then look down to another piece of rice candy that's popping in his mouth. Your disciple, one of your students, Zan Shushen, I believe Zan Shushen, I believe his name is, still remains in possession of items that were given to him, sold to him by Serena Novak. Serena Novak was under orders from Arthur not to divest these items. She did so anyway. Serena Novak, by the way, has fled the city in her cowardice. She refused to recover these items from Zahn. I got a text message on Arthur's phone from Zahn saying that he wants $5 million in currency or equal tradables for the return of these items. Otherwise, he'll sell them on the black market or anyone who will pay his price. At which point, Sal will take up the cup of tea and sip it and then put it down. I have no problem agreeing to these terms. However, I wanted to make sure you are aware of what your disciple is doing and how it is hurting the position of your people in the city.
I am ashamed to say that Master Zanshushan has the title of so-called master, and is acting in such a way that uh, kind of I'd expect something from one similar to myself, and on another hand, he has completely missed the point as to why I gave him a ward in order to teach room and hopefully meet the others that have been accepted by heaven.
I fear I know little about your people, other than certain things regarding the spirit world.
Well, there are many trials that we need to undertake. There are many lessons that we need learned in order to redeem ourselves for, the sins of our ancestors. However, I can assure you that this behavior is unacceptable when it comes to actually fulfilling said trials and tribulations to gain the acknowledgement of our peers that are truly working for the betterment of everyone, not just those within, how do you put it, on Earth, but those into within the various spirit worlds.
He'll nod his head. Spirit is something both myself and Arthur are quite adept at speaking with and dealing with. I understand that it is uncomfortable for your people to be there and oftentimes fatal. Arthur's going to look over at DeSalle like this with like a making a trilling motion. Or trilling sound, and DeSalle just waves him down. It's not information I have ever passed on. I can trust Arthur not to pass this on as well. We should be. Let me be clear about one thing. Were the situation different, were the city different, after receiving such an ultimatum from Zhang Shushan, he would be dead. Dead in such a way that nobody could track even who he was or what happened to him. It is only because of the spirit of cooperation and what must happen in this city that I am even considering meeting his demand.
Understandable. I am trying as best as I can to lead the rest of the Hessian in the spirit of cooperation so that all may benefit from our help, whether they are the mortals that we try to protect on a daily basis or the Shen, such as yourself, that we have to cooperate in order to achieve the greater good for the betterment of all.
We're in agreement on that then. It has often been the position of the traditions to protect humanity as they are what we once were, and we are to lead them to what they must become.
Hmm. If that is what you consider betterment, then so be it. Albeit, right now, we need to talk to a few of the spirits from the city to collaborate what you have brought to me.
Arthur will stand up and make a trilling sound and Desal will say, "No, you're not going with us." Arthur will look at him confused. The longer you stay in the Umbra, the closer you become. You must not return to the Umbra without protection, and you must never use your rituals again. Arthur will hold up a hand and start trilling extensively. You're not going off alone anymore. This is how you ended up like this. This is what's going to turn you into that. Please go home and rest. Arthur will just look down and then we'll look over to Dr. Wizamau and say in the trilling language, and Arthur was like, sorry, Adrian will say, Arthur would like your permission to leave so that he may rest.
Take a few of these rice biscuits, and he gets out what appears to be a piece of very dark looking jade. Hold this.
Arthur will reach out and take the jade.
Arthur will have his. Right now, he is in yang imbalance. This piece of jade will rebalance with the yin within him to at least make him look a bit more human like, if not return him a bit spiritually to what he was.
Once Arthur holds the jade, his eyes will turn back to silver. It will uncloud rather, and his skin will start looking a little bit normal again. And his hair will look more white than molten silver now. And he'll nod his head. Thank you.
Rest. It will take a week until you are fully healed, but keep this at your person all times.
Arthur will nod, take some of the rice biscuits, bow his head, and then leave. As Desal
All right.
watches him go, he'll look to Wuzumau. I do not know if anything can bring him back to where he was. Part of him, part of his mind is now that of his spirit.
I can merely just balance his chi in order for him to function. Whether he'll return to somewhat more coherent way in a permanent manner, that is to be seen. But for now, this is at best trying to make him function as another member of the House of Cards.
He'll nod his head. I appreciate the gesture. I will ensure that once he is done with what he can do, that the jade is returned to you intact.
I don't need it intact. The idea is that he will have to absorb it with contact on his skin. Make sure he does not remove it in order for him to finish his healing process. If he's being a dumbass, he does say this in English, a dumbass. He gives you Master Desau another piece of black jade. Force this on him.
Desau will take the jade carefully, pull out a piece of what looks like silk, and wrap up the jade in it, and then put it back into his pocket.
Make sure he does not overextend himself or try to imbalance himself towards Yang more than he has.
I'll do my best. He is not what you would consider a patient individual. For someone who claims to be a healer and pacifist, he seems to do a lot of aggressive motions.
If need be, talk to the cartographer to send him towards the Shadowlands and meditate with him for a time.
Ilna said, Jolie, yes, I received his number when I started taking the numbers of the members of the council. I will speak to him as well.
This is in case the jade isn't enough. The Quajin may just at least elevate the situation to a certain extent and balance out the, well, make sure that he is well radiating from just. He shakes his head. I can feel him from here that he's radiating way too much yang.
He has been taking in the essence of a Celestine, allowing that Celestine to possess his body in order to fight in ways that he cannot.
And I'll need a equation to make sure that it's, he kind of says this a bit in disgust. He is at least balanced enough to function again if it comes to it. I hope that you are there for him to give him the gift that I gave you in order to make this happen on his own.
I will pass on instructions to his roommate, the shifter known as Bosco. Bosco will be able to ensure that he is not acting irrationally anymore.
Very well. I do not want the Jolie option as the first thing that happens. That's why
I think you froze on me. What'd you say?
I do not want the Jolie option to be the first action that happens. I would like him to heal himself naturally with the jade that I gave him, if at all possible.
I understand.
But if he's being a dumbass, then and still refusing to heal himself, even with that piece of jade that I gave you now, then you need to tell Jolie about this.
I'm confident it will not reach that level unless he is incapable of being healed by the jade.
Uh, it's not. Besides, as long as he keeps it with him, it will be fine. If he just forgets it in one place and does not return to that place for a long time, then we'll have problems. Just saying.
I understand.
All right. Let me get my own backpack since unfortunately I need to corroborate your story with the spirits.
Of course. Would you like me to go with you?
Yes, please. You know these places better than I do.
Will you be in any danger if we go into the spirit world?
We're not going into the spirit world, dear sir. We're going on a field trip on the world of the living. We're just going to have to go to the what do you call it? The history of supernatural, the Museum of Supernatural History, and towards the docks of this particular doom ship.
I understand. I can
Those,
drive you as necessary. I do have my vehicle outside.
yes, I'll just need to get a bit of jade for me so that I do not lose my temper when I hear some news that I will not like.
Of course.
Alright. He buzzes Clarice. Make sure that Janice and Harold take in the next patients. I do not want to be disturbed for the next 12 hours, please. All right. I gave my orders, and he goes, could you please turn around?
Desal will stand up. Well, he'll finish his tea first. He'll stand up and turn around.
Okay. He goes into what appears to be a complex set of painting, vault, a side vault, and go through the combinations, get what appears to be a handful of jade with various properties, and stuff it in a backpack, and then close up everything. All right, I'm ready. Please take me to the various places that I need to go.
All right. He'll nod, lead you outside to what looks like a nondescript Humvee, and he'll climb in. In the back, you'll notice that there are a few what looks like long weapons cases that don't seem to be particularly noticeable.
Okay. He gets into the car.
He'll start off by driving you to the museum. Uh, Once there, he'll use the silver card of the Speaker of the House of Pentacles to access the doors and get you inside. Where do you wish to go inside this place?
Preferably to the source of power that protects this place.
Desal will nod and he'll um, walk over to the elevator. He'll slide his card and it'll open. He'll then walk in, motion for him to come in as well.
He does so.
He taps the closed door button to close the doors, and then he will look around carefully. And he's perk alerting just in case somebody decided to try to sneak in.
Okay. I'll have to do the same thing.
One success.
Keen-eyed applies, ambushes applies.
Yep.
So I'll have to see. I have no clue. Ouch.
Desal will look around, and once confident, he will open up a panel and push a button that is the only down arrow inside the machine. Going down significant amount of ways, the door then opens up, and you see the node.
Mm-hmm.
Desau will walk out carefully, looking around as well, and then motion for the Mandarin to follow him out.
Mm, he follows. I need to meditate here. I'll find out the answers that I will be looking for from the spirits.
Desau will nod. I'll stand guard in case anything attempts to come after you.
Thank you. Okay, so with meditation, guys. Okay, cool. So meditation goes without a hitch.
All right,
He
Desau's
concentrates.
going to deck security into Overwatch mode.
Okay,
That
that
way, if
works.
anything gets anywhere close, he's on it.
Okay, so he is focusing and perceiving the lens of, well, the mirror lens, so to speak, to see the spirits of peace that were here.
You'll see the dove spirits are fluttering all over the place. Looks like they cover not just the node room, but the entirety of the museum as well. There is interwoven wards of life energy as well as spirit forces and what else? Spirit forces and prime. So things that can control the shift of energy as well.
Mhm. Okay, this sounds very Yang.
Yeah. What?
This sounds very Yang aligned.
It is.
Okay,
However,
so
you'll notice that the spirit wards here cross all dimensions. They cross not only the umbral or mirror world, they also cross the shadowlands and they cross the dreaming as well.
yeah,
And the astral plane is.
yeah. Basically, all of the Yin, Yang, and Mirror. So we're good.
Yeah.
Besides the Middle Kingdom, so he will try to beckon the spirits of peace. Spirits of peace, please come to me. I come in peace as well.
The one of the larger, probably a jaggling of dove, will come down and sit down next to you. You speak to us, Mandarin of the Hessian. In accordance with the divine mandate, we answer. What do you wish to know?
I wish to know the following. Has the one that is now supervised by the heaven called Zan Shushan made a deal with the one that is recognized as the seat of judgment?
A deal was struck between the two of them for a suit.
Has the seat of judgment explained to Zan Shushan about the maintenance of said suit, albeit Zan Shushan refused to even hear when it comes to what that entails?
Those parleys were outside of our hearing. However, when Zan Shushan brought complaint, those parleys were reiterated by the one known as Oskar Langley and the one known as Dmitry Dragomir.
Hmm, understandable. I will need to talk to the Raven then. Though they did state that they have tried to explain to him what the suit represents and how to maintain it, yet he did not listen once more. Am I correct?
That is the assessment of the gathered doves.
What has he tried to do when bringing said complaints to light?
He has done nothing to bring it to our personage. No complaints levied against them. He does speak rather intensely about not trusting lightning people and thinking that the world is better off without them. He has also spoken in regards to seeking ways to further his own causes. I do not. He seemed to trust the Serena Novak before she dispersed, and that is what led to the incident outside on the property that we also watch over. Though we cannot affect, we do watch it as well.
I question, did he know about what Serena Novak was about to do in regards to testing said weapons of her?
No, he thought that they were going somewhere away from the museum for the testing. It was Serena who decided to test it in the parking lot.
So he was made aware that they will test them at one point.
That is correct.
You can, Master Desau can hear one of the crystals, well, one of the jade crystals being destroyed and made into dust.
Hold on. Real quick. There we go. It survives. Desal could feel you trying to break it and structurally reinforced it with matter magic.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, that kind of was me being like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
you angered the fire spirit."
Yeah. 3 other doves will fly down and perch themselves upon the Mandarin to try to spread the soothing, cooling calmness because doves don't like anger.
All right. What did he demand of the lightning spirit? I mean, what did he demand of the one that is seated upon the seat of judgment?
No demands were made. He seems entirely unwilling to talk or even deal with Mr. Dragomir anymore.
What did he ask of the rest of the people that made these wards?
He asked of the Creator, he who is blessed by the light above, that monies be paid for the devices that were taken from Novak. The spiders that crawl upon the phones brought us that information as penance for being in our place to begin with.
Did he pay Serena Novak any money or services when receiving the devices?
No payment was made upon our property. If there was a payment made in the future, we do not know. If there was a payment made in the past, we do not know, as it never occurred here. However, as best as we can understand, the devices were simply given to Novak, not sold. Given from Novak to Zahn, not sold.
I thank you for maintaining my composure. I thank you for relaying such information to myself. Has any other of my court attempted to speak with any others of this establishment.
Zahn has attempted to speak to us before and we have ignored him. Others of your court have made no attempts to communicate with us, which is perfectly fine. However, they have also made no efforts to seek our authorization for being in this place as is required by your mandate.
I thank you for all the blessing of these information that you have relayed upon me. I thank you for the time that you have spent protecting all those, both worthy and not, that spend their time discussing, parliamenting, and trying to maintain the peace over the good city of Hong Kong. I give you this small offering of jade towards bettering your defense so that the people here can continually be blessed with your kindness and patience. And
They'll the doves will nod their thanks. Please place it within the energy wall.
he gives 3 points of yuan that are stored. He'll store within one of the red crystals. I mean, red pieces
Jade,
of jade, and he he gives a deep bow towards the spirits. I hope this offering suits you. I hope that she, within it, besides my own energy that I give to you, is enough recompense.
you do us honor, Mandarin. At which point, the Sal will say, "Oh, that's right. I need to pay Arthur's chiminage as well." He'll summon a ball about this big of quintessence and push it into the node, and the node will flare a bit, and the doves will all flutter, and they all look a little bit brighter right now.
Mm. Thank you for your cooperation.
They'll nod, and the four doves will fly back off into their flock.
I bid you goodbye.
Farewell, Mandarin of the Hessian.
He opens his eyes once more. I do not like being lied to. I really do not.
At
That
that
is,
point, Atrian will just chuckle. It's too bad I can't teach you magic. There's a particularly interesting entropy rote that could be very useful.
my dear friend, there is a reason why I carry so many bits of jade with me.
Well, not.
But on to the next location. I have to discuss something with particular elfin spirit that protects those of the Doom ship.
He'll nod and summon the elevator again. Should I inform Mr. Dragomir will be near his home?
No need. I will discuss it beyond the bounds of his protections.
Very well. And he'll take you back upstairs, take you out the back door, take you to the Humvee, and head off to the docks district. Uh, quick. Streamless intelligence, that'll work. Or maybe that won't. Alright, so he's heading off in a general direction. After about 5 minutes, he'll say, "That's not right." And he'll finally get you to the docks district outside of the warding area.
Mm.
At which point, perception awareness. You'll see him kind of look around, and he'll just kind of chuckle. Clever boy. Do you think that would actually work on me?
Uh, Luckily for me, I do not want to go within the protections that he has laid upon his domain. I just need to talk to one contracted under heaven. So, if you can wait near me so that I can meditate upon this.
He'll nod, and once more he's going into Overwatch mode.
Okay, this will be
2 successes.
okay. I will need intelligence, which would be 3 and 1 at a diff of. Oh, this is a Yang effect because I'm summoning, so it's a diff of 3. He uses. He places himself in the correct direction, wearing the correct color. 2. This is not the correct festival, but he starts reciting something along the lines. From Earth we came, to Earth we return. I know it isn't correctly a haiku, but roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 plus the jade that literally I'm giving it as an offering to boost the successes. So at 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 3, 7 plus. Okay, I have enough.
It's enough.
So literally, you see this humanoid looking uh, Earthen warrior appearing right in front of Dr. Wu Zumao.
He appears, and Atrian will turn to face him, but remain composed.
Greetings, guardian of this place, protector of the covenant within this domain. May I inquire as to what your name is? Out of character, it's guardian of the silent shore.
Guardian of the Southern Shore.
Silent. Silent.
A silent shore. So
Have the people within the domain that all right, from this domain have kept the deal that they made with you under heaven.
the bargain struck remains intact. Their deeds are worthy of my questing of them. Their deeds keep me here to protect them. Worthy bargain struck, rendered inert, I would be gone.
They have behaved in such a manner that you have approved of them. They have conducted themselves worthy of your end of the bargain.
Their continued support and diligence and obedience renders them worthy of my continued protection. They have not failed a task set before them.
I thank you for your time in spent in this place. Hopefully, they still make themselves worthy of you and your tasks, for one such as yourself is always just when it comes to protecting these lands.
Their tests continue until such time as they have proven themselves worthy allies of earth and heaven.
Thank you for your time and patience. I give to you a piece of jade so that your essence remains strong.
He'll reach out to take it. You honor with your gift, Mandarin of the Hessian. He then places it and it fuses into his chest.
Yeah, it's the correct color of earth. So,
Nice. I will leave to continue my diligent watch.
thank you. I will
It'll
take my leave.
it'll turn and then merge back with the earth, and then you'll feel its presence depart.
All right. Now, one final journey.
He'll nod.
This this will not be nice.
Do I need to bring out a toy?
Just make sure that no one disturbs us.
Of course. Where should we go now?
I'm going to do a perception Shintal
Okay.
because this is not an easy thing to just find. Um, 4, 7. Okay, 7, and Hinai does count. Well, no, because this is a sensing, a supernatural thing. Ooh, hmm. Okay. He immediately tells you that way.
At which point, Atrian will load back up into the Humvee and take off with the Mandarin, heading in the direction and following his leads.
Well, after coursing through back and forth through many of the streetways, he gets to one of the points where literally it leads to a more darkened valley. Park here, please.
He'll put it into park, and he'll then open up the glove compartment, and you'll see something pop out. Not the glove compartment, the center console that opens up. Open up, and you'll see something pop out. It looks like two handguns with two fully loaded clips sitting next to them. He'll take the handguns and clip them and put them inside his jacket. I'm ready when you are.
Make sure no one disturbs this conversation.
Of course. He'll get out and head into the alleyway. He'll wait until they're inside, and then he's going to pull the two guns and go into Overwatch mode.
Okay.
Damn. Okay. He's got combat reflexes for days right now.
Yeah, I kind of need it since now I'm talking to a representative of heaven.
Right.
Uh, he starts kneeling and says, Watcher of heaven, I seek thee, for I am one of the unworthy head that hasn't redeemed himself in the eyes of heaven. I seek your counsel and judgment. I seek the three-eyed raven.
A beam of light will shine down from above, obviously not perceptible to anybody but you. And a raven with three eyes will fly out of the sky, landing right next to you. This thing is probably about the size of a VW bug. It folds in its wings, looking down at you curiously. Your unworthiness is answered. Speak your questions, lest I grow bored and eat you.
I ask a question, or rather a series of questions related to one under my protection and guidance, Zan Shan, one that, as myself, has started upon the path of learning the way of redeeming ourselves back into the hands of heaven.
The feathers will ruffle at this. His name is barely known, but I have seen the ripples he makes in this city. Speak the questions in your mind, unworthy Mandarin. Prove that you are a seeker of knowledge, not a seeker of platitudes.
Within his quests, did he indeed find peace to many of the restless souls that were bound to this plane of existence?
By dispatching them of their course. Yes, though they were not truly sent to heaven, they were banished to a realm to be reborn and recycled.
Were his actions truly in the pursuit of peace and understanding between all Shen and humans when it comes to the House of Cards?
His actions were those of what he believed to be proper. The emotions of the other members of these house that you call it suggest differently. The dead are still walking around. When he cured the insane lightning one, he killed him and then killed all who were linked by that one's soul, sending them into torment.
He did not wait for the judgment of heaven in order to truly dispatch justice.
That is correct. He dispatched it on his own with what he felt was the right moves. The interactions of the one dream pursuer as well helped to facilitate the hastening of these creatures' torment. Because if I recall correctly, Dream Pursuer used some pretty violent pyrotechnics on the rest of them.
Well, Dream Pursuer did a few things, but that's not the issue.
All right.
I'm trying to discern the worthiness of Zhang Shushan in the eyes of heaven, so to speak.
Okay.
So it's like, was he a good team player when it comes to the other members of the House of Cards, so to speak?
All right. But just let me know if you actually asked that question.
Yeah. He is trying to say, did he try to act in accordance to how the mandates of heaven would dictate the spirit of cooperation with all within the cycle?
He seeks only the cooperation of himself and his kind. His disdain for the others is palpable to the men to those who watch from above.
He does not seek cooperation with all walks of life.
No, he instead seeks to dictate terms to them to make them fall in line to what he believes is the correct course of action.
Are those actions just of those that are of the earth, as in, because earth elementals out of character usually are the ones that caution prudence, try to be just, and try to seek cooperation between all, heal where it needs to be healed when it comes to the land, to such and such and such. Yeah.
In From those who watch below, the spirits of earth, he seems only interested in indulging his own machinations. From those who watch from above, we see him frittering about with worry over other things that are not even remotely concernable. He seeks only to better his own position within his mortal organization as well as within yours. If we were to judge him upon the scale, he would be heavier than a slimy slug.
I thank you for your wise words and your wisdom.
Remember your own place in this. Do not seek our counsel lest it be something worthy.
I understand. I have brought many of Jade to facilitate your cooperation. I hope this bag that I have brought with me, that represents all 5 points of the pentagram, would be suffice.
He'll nod his head, reach down and collect the bag. This shall
Yeah,
be brought as token offering of your worthiness. It is
he,
small, as is your worthiness.
he infuses 3 more points of Yugen within it.
Your worthiness improves. I wish to see it fulfilled. Perhaps one day, maybe in another century or two, we will have you back in heaven. At which point he will and fly off.
Yeah, okay, we did our thing. He returns to Atrium Dessa.
You see DeSalle has a gun pointed at somebody at the other end. Looks like some kind of street banger. Street banger's got his hands up, like, "Whoa, what the hell?" DeSalle's just like, in flawless Cantonese, "Leave now, or I take your head off." At which point the guy runs away.
We are done.
All right, DeSalle will holster his guns and head back to the Humvee with the doctor. Did you find out what you needed to know?
Unfortunately, I did.
I worry over your tone. I'm guessing these were not good things.
No, there are reparations that I need to make for you and yours.
If that's what you see fit, I I don't know what you discussed. I did feel an extremely powerful spirit nearby. Seems like it came down from a higher plane of existence.
It did.
He'll nod his head and start up the Humvee. Should I take you back to your office?
Please, I
He'll
have I have much to meditate upon.
he'll nod. And he'll actually reach into the back and open up a compartment, pulling out what looks like a bag of rocks. He'll hand them over to you. They are green, blue, and black jade.
Okay.
I took the liberty of making some of this just in case you needed some extra effort. It's not pure, unfortunately, but it will do the trick. Meaning he used matter and prime to consecrate that shit. So
Uh,
All right. Once they get back to the office, he'll get out of the vehicle and, well, he'll actually have put his guns away already, unloaded them, put them back where they were, and then he'll get out of the Humvee. I'm sorry for the trouble this has wrought you. I can see it upon your face. You are not a ill man. You are one who tries to see the good in everyone.
I would have a favor of you.
Of course.
Come back to my office.
He'll nod and walk. He'll walk in with you to your office.
And he gets, after going through the back door, obviously, he goes back to his office and he's going to be giving something to what appears to be bandage wrappings that you'd cover your eyes, and there is kind of like an eye in the middle.
I think I actually recognize. I think Atrium actually recognized that. He'll look at that curiously. Then look.
This
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
this is a gift that I would prefer if the seat of judgment gives to Dream Pursuer.
Interesting. Shall I take this to him
To the seat of judgment, yes.
with
This
instructions that it's given to Dream Pursuer?
and from his behalf.
He'll nod his head and take up
This
the. He'll take out a small plastic baggie and put the bandage in there very carefully.
this is his gift to Dream Pursuer in order to say, you have helped us with a great deal, and we give you this gift made out of jade. Though it its function, if you wrap your eyes around it, and you can try this for yourself, you will see the mirror lands, those that our Western cousins like to call the near dreaming.
The penumbra, the near
No,
umbra.
no, near dreaming, literally near dreaming.
Okay, I just thought that the. Never
It,
mind. I'm
it
trying to remember
it's a
something.
magical effect that literally you cannot to walk within. This is kind of like just the nearest near dreaming, kind of like just like how you'd be enchanted, you know.
Oh, okay. All right. I get that.
So literally, you put it, wrap it around your eyes, and it's like you're enchanted, and you
Okay.
see the world just like you would be enchanted.
Okay, I got that. He'll take it, and I will make sure that Mr. Dragomir gets this with the intention that this go to Dream Pursuer.
And and with the request that this is his gift that he made out of the crystals.
He'll smile. Of course.
Now, there are many things that I need to put over within my house. I trust since you've taken care of your unruly child, I will need to take care of my unruly child. And have another piece of black jade in case you misplace the one that I just gave you. before we went on our field trip.
He'll nod his head. I don't foresee losing this, and if I have to, I will place this inside of Arthur himself, so he cannot lose it.
Make sure that neither of the two pieces are lost, and that Arthur receives them should he lose the one that I gave him.
Of course.
I cannot stress this enough, since this is a sort of a spiritual healing in order for him to regain his senses as a functioning member of our dear council. And this is not like one of those pills that the hospital just give them, and you know you're immediately okay. This is more like the tea. You have to wait a bit and keep on drinking tea until you feel better. But in this case, you just have to hold it until you feel better.
Of course. If you need any, not to say that you would need any help with your unruly child, but know that I am always willing to help out fellow elders in the city.
Understood. I will try to make my lessons a lot more clearer, because apparently they their meaning has fallen to the wayside a bit.
He'll nod his head. A long time ago, I knew a custos of one of the lesser houses. He thought that he could force himself into awakening repeatedly. Finally, he was able to do so and became a brilliant magi. However, he was never content with just being a magi, regardless of how powerful. He wanted his own house. He wanted his own rules. Until finally, he became so destructive that he became a vampire. Not only did he become a vampire, he led his entire house into becoming vampires. I pray that this is not the fate that befalls your charge. If that custos had been my apprentice, he would have learned a long time ago to be grateful for what you have.
Indeed.
At which point he'll bow his head, say, I will take my leave of you then. You know how to reach me should you need to. And he'll actually set down a card. It says the Sal Custom Weaponry. Whether it swings or shoots, I know how to build it. And there will be a cell phone number and an office number there, as well as his address, which is actually in the night market.
Indeed. If you need any healing, if you need whether it be actual physical healing or spiritual healing, you know where to find me. And please take some candy should you choose it, or some of my tea before you go.
He'll actually reach down, pull out what looks like a sour ball. I haven't had one of these in forever. Unwrap it, pop it in his mouth, and bow his head, and he'll head out.
He returns the bow and returns to his own chair, meditating on what transpired and how best to formulate his next course of action. And with that, I thank you for this scene.
No problem. Thank you, players, for playing, even though it was all NPCs. Well, Arthur was there for like a couple minutes, I believe. Thank you, watchers, for watching, because we actually have 2 people that have been viewing. This has been another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards. Have yourself a great night, and don't piss off the Order of Hermes.